Coming up in today's video.
Of a wildfire that took over this field. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Magical Moon video. I'm here with the man Thomas, and as you can see he's sporting this braid, and that's a result of trying to salvage what we could at the time. When he arrived he was in a very sorry state. He was infested with maggots, he was covered in bleach, so we really tried to keep a little bit of dignity, and this is the result. So he has those bangs, as people have called them, that bit of a short hairdo, but eventually it's going to be very regal. It's going to end up down near his nose, and it's part of their breed, the Ardennes. We've never had one before, but what a legend he is, and from all around the world the outpouring of support for him and all those beautiful comments. He truly is very, very special. He still has a long way to go, so he has that skin condition which we're treating intensively, and he's actually a little bit forlorn at the moment because he's been inside since he came back from Pompadour through the travelling and the experience. It's a little bit stiff, but we've had to really concentrate on that skin condition after having shaved all his legs, and we're hoping in the future that his beautiful feathers, those lovely long hairs that dangle from their legs, will be able to once again show all their glory. We've had many emails, messages through all the media platforms, and we're sorry we haven't been able to respond to them all about the wildfires. And we had a very scary day the other day, and we're going to take you and show you why. Here we are, just round the corner from the farm, and this is the extent of a wildfire that took over this field. It could have gone either way. We had the smell of smoke, that fear of just how quickly it was advancing, but thanks to the pompiers, the firefighters and the local farmers who are now becoming armed in their own way to help deal with these outbreaks, they managed to contain it. But it could have gone anywhere, and as I said, from those horrific wildfires in Bordeaux that seemed out of sight, out of mind, this really is on our doorstep. There's only one way we're going to be able to evacuate everyone, and that is a very big lorry. So there you have it. Who would have even thought we'd have to consider such an option? And after spending many years driving around Europe with Jenny, that's how I met her. I'm no stranger to these large vehicles, and she is enormous, capable of carrying 22 horses or large animals at a time. So I think within a couple of movements we'd be able to put the evacuation into full swing. And after seeing those images of horses running down the road in Bordeaux and just how people were so isolated and so helpless, it really is going to be the solution for us, but not only for us, for the broader community, for the emergency services in those times of need. She could be there for them. So we're on that register of helpers, but we'll also make it known that we have such a vehicle. And we're looking at all the options of how to purchase her, and we've spoken to the owner, who's being very considerate. If it isn't her, it will be something very similar, and that is what we need here. We need a plan, and it is the way forward. Many of you have asked how many animals we have here on the farm, and I think sometimes we lose count, but we've got knocking on 40 equids, so the horses and the donkeys, but that doesn't account for all the other animals, the dogs and the cats and the rest of the menagerie. It is definitely a full-time job, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We try and capture moments as and when we can, but for those new viewers and old, we're going to try in these up-and-coming episodes just to catch up with as many of the residents as is possible. And also, in the background, those works continue with Petra's promise on those stables. And here in France, well, it is a bit of a French thing. In August, everyone seems to knock off for a month. So when we go to place an order for materials, we're actually on an 8-week backlog. It's the end of July to nearly the middle of September, and we're waiting on those roofing sheets to be able to continue with those stables. There's obviously lots of other jobs. They're never ending, so there's plenty to be getting on with. And now we're going to go and catch up with a little fluffy bundle of joy. So you might have guessed it, it is of course Button Moon, and later on today he's having his microchip, and that means he can go and be officially registered at Pompadour. We never knew we had him in our midst. When we got Annabelle, she was very, very poorly, and we actually had a pregnancy test done on her, and it came back negative. And I think it was those early days, we weren't sure of the environment that they'd been in, although we knew it wasn't a nice environment. We didn't know any of the history, but it soon became apparent that she was with child, and that accounted for her condition. She really struggled in those early months after having all that nutrition and that care where you expect them to pick up and be well. She still looked not quite herself, and of course she was growing the little one inside, and she's now started to flourish after having him. He's fine, he's running about, he's as good as you could wish for, and he goes out in the field in the garden paddock at night, and a complete contrast to the next little donkey we're going to see, Tiny Tim, whose start in life was the polar opposite. So let's go and have a catch up. So here he is, the not so Tiny Tim anymore, and after that very unique start in life where he was born so deformed, thanks to Gregory, he's with us today, and he still wears those special shoes. But the progress is all heading in the right direction, and I don't think it'll be too near into the future he might even be able to do without them. But because of that start in life, he's developed a almost human personality. He's like our fifth son. Very, very physical, very, doesn't know he's a donkey, but he is a very special little chappie. And on that note, we're going to say, stay magical, and we'll see you next time.